Hello, everyone. How are you? How is everybody's Monday? I tell you, every time I come on Facebook Live, things have changed. I am sitting here looking at my screen and I see all these different buttons that didn't used to be there. They changed from last Monday to this Monday. So, hi Sherry, how are you? So if something goes on and I hit a button and something pops up, so just let me know because I probably have hit one of these buttons and I don't know what this button is for. So I'm trying to get these comments out of, and there it went. See? Hi Lisa. I'm trying to get my phone back into okay, and there's my door. Let me turn it back around. Okay, so anyway, my phone just popped out of the tripod and I'm trying to get it back in there. Hi Sarah, hi Zadie. Okay, so hopefully we won't have any more. Hi Anna, how are you all doing? As I was saying, Facebook is always changing, and I was trying to get these comments out of my face and tilt this down a little bit so that you could actually see my face, but I don't want my phone to fall out of the tripod. So, okay, just bear with me a second or two. Let me adjust. Okay, I think we're good. Oh, swipe right. Da, 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 da. Now I can't see the comments. I can't see who's coming in and who's not here. And I can't see your comments on what you're saying. Okay, but I appreciate it. Hi Patty, how are you? Hi Emily. And okay, thank you so much for the advice, Sherry. Okay, hi Karina. Now, before we get started, I have a couple of announcements, and those announcements are today we started, and when I say we, I mean me and the Third Parent Academy and All About the Toddlers. We have a summer reading program going on. It's 60 days of reading. It's called Read, Read, and Reread Summer Reading Program because I know you all read books over and over and over again. That's not a bad thing. We are going to present you with 60 of our favorite toddler books. They will be live, video and audio on the Third Parent Academy and on All About the Toddler. And just sign up by liking our page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. At the end, everyone who participates will get a certificate and a book for their toddler. Each family will get a book. So, hi Amanda, how are you? I just realized what she said. Also, Just Ask Nanny. We had Just Ask Nanny and Nanny Me Creatively on a few weeks ago. Both of them have new items in their Etsy shops. So please, please, please visit their Etsy shops. Nanny Me Creatively, I think, is the Yellow Crayon Boutique. And Just Ask Nanny is under Just Ask Nanny. Hi Abigail. Hi everyone else who just came in. And one last thing, this month is Nanny Mental Health Month. Yes, thank you, Sherry. The Yellow Crayon Boutique. I was right. This month is Nanny Mental Health Boutique. The Nanny Box, the my nanny circle, the nanny box, the nanny creative, the nanny collaborative, and nanny teas have all collaborated to help us this month and make us aware of things that are going on that we just kind of hold inside. And people ask us, how are you doing? And we say, oh, I'm fine. And we're hiding behind the, oh, I'm fine, when inside we're really just all messed up. But as a nanny, we're supposed to be on all the time, 100%. And there's nothing going on with us, and there's nothing wrong with us. Not true. So please follow. There have been several posts in My Nanny Circle and in the Nanny Collaborative. Please follow them, and let's talk about our health, self-care, mental health, because we always need an accountability partner, someone to always check up on us, someone who knows you well enough to know when you say I'm fine, you're really not fine. So please, if you don't have an accountability partner, if you need someone to check up on you, you need someone, grab a best friend, grab a fellow nanny, enter one of the nanny groups so that we can talk about it. The Nanny Collaborative, we'll be talking about it all month long. My Nanny Circle will be talking about it all month long. And it's not just a 1 month thing. Continue it after the month of June, because our mental health, the things that we see, the things that we go through, the things that we have to put up with, the babies crying, mentally that can be challenging, because when you have a sick baby and they won't stop crying, that wear and tear, it wears your body down. It wears you down mentally. And I'm fine, it's not going to cut it for too long. So, just a reminder to do that. Yes, Kim, nanny mental health is so important. Oh, yes. And Kim says, if you need nanny friends near you, Via the Village can connect you nearby nannies. Thank you. Okay, so our special guests for tonight are Kim and Emily from Via the Village, and they are going to tell us all about the nanny share. Okay, so Kim and Emily, which one of you all should I invite on? I'm not sure which one you all are watching from, but the first one I come to, who happens to be Kim, I'm going to invite you on. Now let's see. It says I can't bring Kim on camera. Okay, so let me find Emily. Okay, Emily, I'm going to invite you on. Bring Emily. Okay, there we are. Hi, Summer. While we're waiting on them, just a side note, another announcement. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we will have Summer Hartman here, and we are going to be talking about a sleep training class that I'm hosting here in Dallas. So if you haven't signed up, come on. Okay, Miss Emily. Oh, there it is. It's connecting now. And you guys are sideways. I see you, but there you are. No. Turn back. Back around.
Turn back?
Yep. Turn back.
Not working?
It's working, but you're sideways. There we are.
Uh-oh. I was going to put it in the tripod so we could...
Here, do you want to mess with it for a minute? Hi, Angela.
The tripod won't go that far wide.
We're going to try and fix the tripod.
Okay, well,
it only goes that wide.
Trust me, I was definitely trying to fix my tripod just a few minutes ago. It flipped around and I saw the door, and we flipped around and we saw the other door, and yeah. And then it almost hit the floor, so then, yeah, we're all having tripod problems tonight. But while they're fixing the tripod and getting everything together,
Is that okay?
and we see both of you.
Yes.
Yay!
The pod only goes this way, and it went in to accommodate that way. So, okay. As long as you
Okay.
can scoot up, scoot up.
We can see you. We can see you. We can see you. So, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself outside of Via the Village, the nanny world, and kids and all that.
Yes. Well, that is pretty much my whole life right now, via the village.
Okay.
But other than that, yes, I was a nanny. I dabbled in the nanny profession for just a little bit. And by trade, I am a nurse. And
Okay.
live outside of Chicago area. I live with my husband and two wonderful children, 2 and 5 years old. So
Ooh.
we admire you nannies that do this day in, day out, deal with these little people with skill and patience. Oh my goodness. Kudos to you. And I'll let Kim kind of introduce herself.
Yep. So I'm Kim Banakovich. Outside of the nanny world, let's see. I have a almost 4-year-old son. I'm an identical twin. So I have an identical twin sister who actually just had a
Wow.
baby a little bit
Oh.
ago. Yeah. And her daughter and my son are considered genetic half siblings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is a fun fact.
You want to explain that one?
Yeah. Also, since identical twins have the same DNA,
Uh-huh.
my son and her daughter have half of the same DNA. So they're considered genetic half
Oh.
siblings. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. You did a science lesson on me. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me.
Hi,
Where did
Doris.
the I
Doris was one of our first nannies. She's watching. Hi, Doris.
Okay, see you see things on your side that I don't see on my side yet. Um, so if she's watching, hi Doris.
She's
Where
watching.
I,
Hi,
I, I
Doris,
don't
our
I don't
wonderful
see her on
nanny,
my side, but
wonderful.
okay.
Okay, she's there. I
Okay.
feel her and I see her.
Okay. Hi Doris. Um, Tell us who came up with the idea of Via the Village.
Yeah, so honestly, this kind of started very organically. I am, like I said, I'm a working mother and a nurse. And honestly, like daycare hours, I mean, we would have loved a nanny, but daycare hours definitely never worked for us because of my long hours as a nurse. And, we really couldn't afford on our own to pay what we know nannies deserve. And so nanny shares always really made sense for us because you can come together with another family.
Hmm.
Families get a little bit of a discount, but the nanny can, make a little bit more. We always say 33%. So everyone in the share, it's all evenly spread around. The love is spread around. Each family saves 33%, and the nanny makes 33% more. And so that just, hi Angie, she's one of my nurse friends. So that always just, this is fun. So this always just made sense for our family. However, I just found it incredibly like there's so many people out there looking for a nanny share, but I found it incredibly inefficient. Like messages, with other families and just that, so much back and forth with the logistics of it all. And I'm like, why isn't there a more efficient way? So we found a nanny share, it was working, and then we moved and we needed to find another family and another nanny that was willing to do a nanny share. And it was all, we moved a couple times over 3 years. So we were always starting this process over. So I had so much exposure
Wow.
to it. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. At one point, I started a Facebook group for it in Chicago, just like, hey, anybody looking for a nanny share? Invited a couple friends, and their friends invited friends, and it organically grew into the thousands in Chicago. And I'm like, wow.
Wow.
I'm like, people are really, they do want a nanny share. It's just like there's not a good way to find nanny shares. So I got it in my crazy head, like, what, why isn't there an app for this? Like, I'll make an app for it then, and like said, I'm a nurse. I have no technology background, no background in software, but as a caregiver, like, you understand, it's very, it's an intuitive process. I know what people need, I know what I need, and I start out to build something, to fulfill that need. And so very early on in the process, I understood it as a family what I needed and what we needed. But of course, I saw the gap of, like, I need to understand what the professional nanny community needs, because professional nannies are certainly the most eligible, the most qualified candidates for a nanny share position. You shouldn't just have a casual babysitter watching a couple of kids. And it takes a lot of communication, organization. And so I really wanted to understand the nanny community, and if they were interested in nanny shares, because to me it made sense. As a nanny, maximize your time. You're taking care of another family, you definitely deserve more compensation for that, but really maximize your time and earnings. And so I started reaching out to nannies and doing some, like, potential user interviews. And I was very blessed to come across Kim very early on, because she really opened up my eyes to how marginalized this nanny profession is. Like, you are, like, such, I mean, you are, our children, you are the future, with our children. Like, you're so very important. And your career is so very important. And just like how teachers and other caregivers just are not really recognized, even more so, the nanny profession just really isn't supported enough, paid enough, like, doesn't have that network. And so she was the one that really opened my eyes to, not only does it take a village to raise a child, but nannies need that village too. That's where the name came from. Nannies need that village and that support system as well for themselves. Like, most coworkers have a, hey, I had a rough day, like, let's talk, like, and thankfully there's wonderful programs like Ask the Nanny, there's Nanny Council, Nanny Collaborative. There's this craving of, like, nannies need support too in their profession.
Yes,
like you
we
just
do.
said, right? Yeah, like you just said, the mental health of a caregiver, you're caring for someone else. You're caring for someone else. You need care too. You need support too. And so she's really just opened my eyes to the potential that, the impact that we can have for the nanny community. And so I'll kind of open it up. I'm blabbing on. I'll kind of open it up to Kim to speak a little bit more on that. But I'm just so appreciative, because Kim just came in and I was floored by her input and what she, opened my eyes to. And the impact that we can have, the vision that she has for the nanny profession, and the passion that she has to improve it. I was just like, I want her to be a part of this, and I'm so thankful that she's a part of this with me, because she always is giving that perspective from this primarily women and often minority profession that really doesn't get enough love. So I'll kind of let Kim talk about herself a little bit.
Yeah, so I joined via the village, like Emily said. She was reaching out to caregivers to get feedback on an idea that she had for this website. And I am a nanny advocate. I've been a nanny for almost 2 decades. And I just really love helping, and I love helping nannies. And the more we started talking, the more, we realized that there really is something, that we had something here that could really help a lot of people, not just nannies, but we could help families who thought, never thought that they could afford a nanny. And through nanny shares, families who didn't think they could afford nannies are now, getting to have that one-on-one or, two-on-one experience. um,
Right.
that other families get.
Okay. Well, I have been in a nanny share. Let's see. I have been the nanny in a nanny share. And when you're taking care of other people's, the families that are there, the components, it's very important that you're not just okay, well, I need a family in the chair, and you don't know anything about this family. You don't know what their values are. You don't know what, if their disciplinary values match your disciplinary values. Both the families, you get together, you're saving money, but are you going to clash? And
Right.
I've been in a family that has that, the kids were great together. The families, the moms and dads, they just went like this. I'm like, okay, maybe we don't want to do this. Maybe we need to, find someone else. And so I kind of broke up the nanny share because it was always you. I'll just say you could cut the tension with a knife when they came
Yeah.
together all in the same room. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. I hate negative energy. I hate that negative vibe. I hate being in the middle of something. I'm like, who did what to whom? Because, you know, it takes a special nanny to do a nanny share. It's not for every nanny,
Right.
but when
Hmm.
you are the nanny that is, responsible for this nanny share, there's a lot you have to deal with. And when I
Mhm.
talking about mental health, that was a seesaw going on in my brain, and I'm trying to keep up. I'm like, okay, just keep them apart. You come pick up your child while they're not here, and then when they come
Oh,
home, I
wow.
can leave. Yes, it
Oh,
was.
Yeah.
wow.
It. I mean, it worked for a good month and a half, and then I
Mhm.
don't know what happened between the two of them, but it just went south, and I was just like, okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
I know how stressful that can be. Now tell
Yeah.
me about who came. You said via the village, what came out about because Kim said all the nannies need a village.
Yeah, like I said, to families, it always made sense to me. You always have heard that age-old African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
And when I had my first child, and I have wonderful family, many of them live, a state or two away, unfortunately.
Oh,
So I was like, oh, I get it. I understand. Like, it takes a village. And then I'm like, where is my village? And so, especially in urban areas, where, the suburbs and in smaller communities, of course, you know your neighbors.
right.
But in urban areas, when you live in high rises, you might not even know you have a family with similar age child to you that lives a couple floors up unless you happen to run into them in the elevator. And
Sure.
so that's, we were living in Chicago at the time of our first was born, and I was really wanting that community. And then so, of course that made sense for the families, it takes a village, but then, Kim had also, said, no, actually, nannies need that as well. And I just want to preface this by if you're not interested in a nanny share, if you're a nanny, like you can still get onto the platform and find
Okay.
other, if you, we have that in profile creation process that you are open, our niche is nanny sharing, but we have that in the profile creation process because yes, like you said, not every nanny wants to do a nanny share. So
Hmm.
we want to be able to have the nanny to kind of select that. I'm looking for a single position family, a position with a single family only. So that is what you can do on the platform.
Okay.
Family is the same thing. It doesn't work for all families. Like you have to be it is a kind of a dating process with everybody,
Yes.
like you said, you had two families that didn't really work with one another. Well, they might have kind of taken each other because that's all they could find. Like they're like, oh, I don't know how to find a nanny share, but it is a process that when it works, it's wonderful. Like we had, Doris was our nanny for our nanny share, and we have, these two little girls, my daughter Sophia and Evie. Like now they're like practically sisters. Like they grew up from one until, a couple years ago.
Aww.
And they just are like love each other, even though they don't get to see each other. We moved, we don't get to see each other as much as we wanted to. Like it's so fun for like the kids, and I know Doris had so much fun. Like yes, it can be a lot of work because you have another kid, but it also can be just like, oh, the kids entertain themselves. They're
Yes.
hi Carrie.
Yeah.
They entertain, they play with each other. It's not like all on the nanny to have to, come up with these engaging games all day long because the kids are interacting with one another. But you're right, like it does take a special nanny, and it does take
Hmm.
one that's organized and has really good communication skills, which I'm sure you do. But like you said, it does take a match between families as well. So that's
Yes.
what we would like to do on Via the Village is kind of facilitate this more, like this whole process. Like, who knows all this until you've done it and like you lived and learned, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, like probably from a not a good experience, you're like, oh, I should have done it this way or that way. And
Right.
we just want that support system. Like we have forum that you can ask questions about nanny care, nanny shares, just parent and parenting questions, anything like that. We just want to be that, like not just this. Those are platforms. If you get on, you find what you need, you get off. Like we want to be this ongoing support system for nannies and for families, and just starting to see everybody, one another's perspectives. Like I've learned so much as a way after the fact. I've learned so much about nannies being in some of these communities, but the average family doesn't really understand what your, trials and tribulations are, and how they can be a good employer. So we would love to like expose them to like these are the things you can do to be a good domestic employer, and these are the trials and tribulations that nannies are having, and then at the same token for nannies to understand like it is hard for to welcome a stranger at first into your home, and making that relationship just smoother, just kind of giving everyone tips all around and sharing experiences.
Well, I wish you all had been around 15 years ago when I had that particular nanny share, because I could have used the support, because I felt bad afterwards because I suggested that maybe they needed to find another family, because I mean, you can't expect children to act a certain way when the adults are acting another way.
Yeah.
And when the children hear the parents talking about the other parents, and then the kids come and they say, well, your mama said this and my mama told me that you don't do this, and so it becomes a mess, basically. Now, that was my first nanny share. My other nanny shares, I've had 3 or 4 since then. They were wonderful. It was like somebody knew somebody who knew somebody, and then they were like, "Oh, I know her," and then we got together, and the families, we worked wonderfully together, and I had no problems. But that particular one, I was like, "Oh Lord," I dreaded going to work every day. And I hate that. I love what I do, but when you have that type of situation, you dread going to work. And I wish I had Via the Village so I can say, how do I do this? The parents are doing it. I need your help. How do I say this? How do I do that? Because it's totally different when you're in a nanny share than you're dealing with one set of parents, and you got two sets of parents that you have to sit down. It's like being in the classroom. It's like, okay, so little Johnny is not getting along with little Sally, and and that's how I felt like I was treating the parents, not the kids, but the
Right.
parents. So I wish I had the support of a village back then.
Yeah.
Now, tell me this: is it just a local? Um, is Via the Village just local in Chicago, or can anybody join?
So anyone can join, and this is sort of our debut to like, hey, we're here.
Hey!
We've been very hush hush about this. Like we've of course been telling Chicagoland area. We already had this network, like I said, of over 5,000 members on our Facebook group that we were just really like, I'm sorry, you guys need a better way. We're going to give you it. And so we introduced this to our Facebook group and said, hey, we're going to start, converting you over to this website, via thevillage.com. We're going to start converting you over so that you can organize this process where you can fill out a profile. You can say if you're, a nanny just looking for a single family position, or you're a nanny looking for a nanny share, or a nanny looking for even just other nannies near you. You already have a job, but you want to meet up with other nannies for playdate meetups or for a backup. Like so often you nannies like work day in and day out. I know Kim says you feel this guilt when you have to call in, and like we were just talking about, you need to take care of yourself so as well. So if you can kind of build this Rolodex, this network of like introduce, you've met these nannies at playdate meetups and they were great with the kids because you have witnessed that yourself, and you can introduce them to your family and say, hey, when I'm ill, do you mind if I call this person or that person? If you have that set up already, then you can provide this sort of backup system to one another. And as a family, that would be, such an asset. If you were a nanny that came to me and you had like, this Rolodex of nannies, like if I'm ever sick or on vacation or like whatever, I know this great nanny, and that great nanny. So in the same way, a parent can get on, create a profile, and find just a nanny for their own family, or they can find a nanny share family, and they can also have this networking component with other families nearby for playdate meetups, for kitty carpooling, for childcare exchanges, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what we're all about. So we would like to say, like, so Chicago's doing great. Like we were saying, hey, we're here. Like in the first couple weeks, the first 5 or 6 weeks, we have more of 500 members in Chicago.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's reached critical mass. People are finding nannies, new positions, nanny shares, and people are giving us really good feedback. So we felt comfortable like coming onto the show and saying, hey, like if anyone else wants to join, like some cities might be more interested than others, but if you think that this is something that's interesting to you and that you have a community of nannies that you would like to start, engaging on this, like whether you need new positions or a nanny share or just want to find other nannies, like you can get on, sign up. It's free. It's completely free at this point. In the future, we may charge for the service, but you can get on, create your profile, start inviting people to the platform so that you can start to kind of grow your village through your network. You just kind of build your network through your own network and search for who's joined.
Okay. So, Dallas area, listen to me. We're going to Via the Village because I know as an NCS now, there are so many people who are out there who need NCSs, but the NCSs, it's like, okay, I'm booked up, I'm booked up, I'm booked up, I'm booked up. I wish I could clone myself. I've had parents ask me, can you clone yourself? Can you clone yourself? And this is when I was just doing, just regular daytime nanny. And in order to clone myself, I could clone myself if I was in a nanny share. Both of you could have me, So Dallas, I know there are plenty of parents out there who are looking to save money. I know there are plenty of parents out there who are looking to have a playmate for their child because, you have a singleton, I have a singleton. How about they're about the same age? Guess what? Built-in playmate. Hello?
Exactly.
And they entertain themselves. And I have always found taking care of two around the same age because they understand, um, you know what to expect from a 2-year-old. Both of them are going to, the 2-year-old tantrums, all of that. You know what to expect from a 2-year-old, and they know what to expect from each other, and it's a win-win situation. Okay.
It's easier to take care of two than it is to take care of
Yes,
one.
it is because you're always the playmate.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need you to come play with me. And you're trying to, okay, I'm trying to cook you some lunch, but I need you
Hmm.
to play with me. But I need you to tie my shoe. But I need you, I need you, I need you. And you can't even go to the bathroom by yourself
Hmm.
because you are the playmate. And unless you're going to potty at the same time they're going to potty, you can give it up. It's harder when, but if you have two, you have someone to entertain them. Okay, I'm going to potty. I'll be right back. You all stay right here in this area. You zip in there and zip out. You got 1 minute. So you at least you get to go by yourself. But
Hmm.
we have a question from Carlotta. What is the name of this? Are you talking about the program? We're talking to Via the Village. We're talking to Emily and Kim from Via the Village. And can you give us your website?
Yeah, so right now it is a website, viathevillage.com. And we are definitely in the future wanting to make this a mobile app, but what we have released right now is what the technology software world calls minimal viable product. And we just want to get better and better. And we really want your feedback, like Nanny's feedback, to,
Okay.
please bear with us. It's not a perfect product right now, and we're going to improve, but we wanted to get this out there to start, allowing people, because the basis is there. You can find, people near you. You can perform a search. You can use filters on both families and nanny and yes, via the village. And we will continue to kind of just make improvements. And we really want to welcome you to be a part of this. Like, this is a community. This is not like we don't want to be like these other, huge platforms where it's just this cold product, like this is what you can do, that's it. Like, we want to make, Kim really has this passion to make improvements in the nanny profession. And I feel like if we can come together to, create that support system and create these ideals for the profession, we can continue to, improve and work for these domestic like rights that you all deserve in the home setting. And so we want your feedback. We want you to be a part of this, inviting people, and just, yes, please,
Okay.
please come be a part of
So
our community.
please, Dallas, New York, all these major cities, Seattle, Los Angeles. I mean, there are so many major cities that can join Via the Village, and we can all. Okay, is it available in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Um,
So anybody can sign up. We
Hi,
just want to say,
Aileen.
like,
Hi, Eileen.
hi, Eileen. We just want to say, when you sign up in Chicago, you get this activity feed with all this stuff that's been happening. There's all these dozens of members that have signed up in the past couple days. This is the first time we're opening it up, nationwide. So you'll get on and you probably won't see much happening around you, but you can start to invite people, generate some activity. When we see that there's interest in a city, we can start to kind of do some more networking, marketing to that community. Like Kim and I, we honestly, we haven't had no professional marketing assist. And like I said, we have more than 500 people, members in Chicago in the past like 5-6 weeks sign up. So it doesn't take like this huge professional marketing team. Like, people are liking this platform, and if you invite people and spread the word, you can generate this for your community as well. And if you want to be a part of this, working with Kim and I to bring this to your area, you can reach out to us. We're very accessible, like friendly, I think, right? So reach out to us. If we are looking for brand ambassadors, we're looking for people to, and to help bring this to these different areas of the U.S.
Yes. So everyone, look down at the bottom of your screen, hit the share button so that you
Yeah.
can share with all of your friends. Because I know we all have nannies, not just in our area, but we have nannies all across the world. I know I have nanny friends over in Switzerland and Australia, Miss Naomi.
I should
And
say that it's a U.S.
so
based
hit the
shout out
share
For
button
now.
so everybody will know about Via the Village. Everybody can come and join Via the Village. and that way the village can grow. I created my own little hashtags, says Nanny Village Unite. So Nanny Village, let's unite and let's
Yes.
support via the village so we can have another platform besides sittercity.com and care.com that we can not only just look for jobs, but we can look for support for one another. And it is
Yes.
so important that we support one another, not just, okay, I got a job, I got a job, I got an interview, I got a this via the village. It's not just I got a job. It's a, well, now that I got this job, somebody give me some pointers. Do you have this in your
Yeah.
contract? Do you have that in your contract? Do
Exactly.
you, how much do I charge? What is the proper way to handle this? What supplies do I need for two children if they're coming from two households?
Definitely.
I've never done this before, but I love the idea. How do I get started? This is the place to come.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
very
just
place
so
to
you
come.
know, we have free contracts both for Nanny and Nanny Shares. They're
See?
just templates you can get on, download, edit them per your agreement. So it's nothing like we tried to make it very not intimidating because some of these contracts are so intimidating that people are scared away from contracts. But we want, people to know, both families and nannies, like this protects your relationships and you should communicate. That's the first key to like a successful nanny family relationship, and especially to a nanny family nanny share relationship. Everybody needs to talk about expectations and then write them down, because when you're postpartum you don't remember like what you talked about. You need to put it down, and it's not like to be nasty or not to be like sometimes people say that they feel like, oh, it's too like impersonal.
Yeah.
No, this is just to like, let's nobody's going to remember all of these points. We're just going to write them down, and we're going to
It's
so we
just a
have,
reference.
yeah,
We have a nice reference to use. Everyone's on the same page.
right.
Hi, Toya.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Ariel says she is in the Chicago area in Rogers Park, and she wants to know, she says, a few parents I would not work with again. Are parents supposed to give you a bonus at Christmas? And is there a nanny course where one can get certified out there? Okay. First of all, no, all parents are not supposed to give you a bonus at Christmas. That is a gift. A bonus is a gift, not a supposed to. It's not written anywhere in the nanny law book that you are supposed to get a, a bonus at Christmas. Parents, some parents give bonuses, some parents give gifts, some parents give nothing. It just depends on the parent that you work with. It's not a supposed to. It's not if I don't get this bonus, I'm quitting my job. No, don't quit your job. It's not a supposed to. Now, as far as getting certified, I don't
Wait, can I
know of
just
any.
interrupt one
Okay.
second on that topic though? A lot of times families, this is the first time they've been an employer and they don't even know that that's what people do out there. So that is what we would love to kind of just
Educate
kindly educate and
families.
introduce. We are very like neutral. Like we're not pro nanny, pro family. Like we're a community, and we want to introduce suggestions like that to families. Like, hey, this is a nice thing you could do for your nanny. So you guys, meaning you, the nanny community, have these conversations, but the families are never privy to these conversations. They don't know
Right.
what's irritating you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know
Yeah.
that you're offended. Like, you would hope that they might think, oh, a Christmas bonus is nice, but some are so oblivious. They've never had a nanny. They don't even think about these things. I don't get a Christmas bonus as a nurse, so they don't even think to give they don't think to give their employer a Christmas bonus. So that's another thing that we would like to kind of, okay, what are the norms, what are the standards out there, and kind of just share that with one another.
Yes. Yes. That's why I'm so big on National Nanny Recognition Week. And last year and again this year, I will be on every day, the month of September, spreading the knowledge of recognize your nanny. Do
Yeah.
something nice, do something out of the ordinary
Appreciation
because
goes
we
so long.
work hard.
Yes, and
Well,
you
I'm
don't
sorry,
earn
what did you
enough.
say?
Yes. I said, yes, you do, and you don't earn enough, and a little appreciation goes a long way. So yeah, we want to create that, that scenario where everyone feels appreciated and is getting more out of this relationship.
And you never know the parents that are paying you. You don't know what their circumstances is. It may look all nice and rosy on the outside, but you have no clue as to where their money is going. And they may just be barely affording to keep you on as a nanny and cannot afford a bonus. So, sometimes you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. And if you are getting little, what my one of my bosses called little happies throughout the year, where they, go on a trip and they bring you a gift back, or oh, I saw this and here you go. Oh, guess what? I bought too much of this. Why don't you take this home and have it for dinner? Those little things that come throughout the year. 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, that's a bonus. They don't have to
Yeah.
do that for you. That's a bonus. So
Yeah.
it's
Hi,
it's
Anne.
things like that.
Anne is one of the nannies that reached out to us, just found a nanny share position in Chicago. So I want
Yay!
to give
Great,
her my
great, great. See, it's working already.
working.
So, like I
We
said,
wanted to work with
share
you
this
all too.
video so that
Yes.
all the rest of the nanny communities can come together and all the families from the nanny communities. And if you have a family, tell them about Via the Village. That does not mean you're going to lose your job. It just means that, sometimes situations change. Children go off to school and all they need is an after school nanny, but you need a full time job. Well, there may be a nanny who just wants to do after school with several children. There you go. And you have
Yeah.
just helped that family with a nanny share and save them some money. So you become the hero. So share. Now, I have one last question. Um, because you all pretty much answered all the rest of my questions that I have down here. Does the
Way
site, do
better.
you all have a place on I know some of the bigger websites, nanny sites, they have places with a little tab or something that you can press to get a background check. Do you all do that same thing, or do you leave it up to the parents to do the background checks?
Yeah, so like I said, we just released 5, 6 weeks ago. We're kind of minimal
Okay,
viable product. We do not have that
okay,
now, but we
okay,
definitely would like to do that in the future. And we actually just want to invite nannies to be a part of that conversation of how to introduce that. Like, should we make the parents pay for it? Or would you as the nanny like to pay for it and be able to take it away and use it if you find a position and interview with someone off the platform? And so we have not introduced that yet. We will in the future because it's something that families really are asking about. So we definitely will bring that in the near future, but not yet.
okay. So, is there anything that you feel that we have not covered yet? There are any tips, any tricks? Um, I know one, profiles. When you fill out a profile, any tips on how to make your profile more appealing as opposed to someone else's? What makes them stand out to families?
Yeah. I mean, I just think okay, a couple different things. The basics, of course, add a picture, fill out your
Of yourself
profile.
only.
Yeah.
Don't add a picture of you with your best friend or you and your boyfriend. Just a professional looking picture of yourself.
Yeah, not you at the club with
Not
your
one of those
Right.
pictures going you going like this.
Yeah. No photo booth selfies.
Yes.
Professional photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need
So just
basically a headshot.
Yes, a headshot.
Yeah, Yeah,
Okay.
just
And
fix
you
up
can do
your
that with your cell
profile.
phone. Just
Of
dress
course.
up,
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
somebody stand in front of a plain wall, or go out
Right.
to the park or somewhere and have someone just click, and there you go. Voila.
Exactly. Yeah. So just a picture, a professional picture, fill out your profile completely. And then, of course, what building your village and building your connections, people can see your connections on via the village. They can see your list of connections. So it increases your chances of, finding connections through your connections if you have a long list of if you have a big village and they are like, oh, hey, she knows, Betty from down the street too. Like, families are exponentially more likely to hire someone that comes from a recommendation or some through an acquaintance than just
Yes.
some random person. Or even if they know your last, oh, my former nanny. Like, if someone was a connection of, Doris that was here on the show, and I could reach out to Doris and be like, what do you think of this, person? Is she good with kids? That's boom, sold,
Mhm.
like more than any other anything.
And that goes
You
for
are
nannies
so
as
right.
well. That goes for nannies as well, if because nannies and parents can connect with each other, and if a nanny sees that another nanny knows a family that they want to interview with, they can reach out to that nanny and say, hey, what do you think about that family? Are they nice to work with? How are the kids? You know, which is really
Exactly,
important.
because that's what one of the things that Kim said, that all these other platforms out there are very like family centric. Like they don't, there's things out there like Glassdoor for when you want to know like how's this employer. There's nothing like that out there for nannies. Like you're reviewed on
No.
these platforms, but
Yes.
We
these
can't review
employers.
families.
So when
Right, right.
we do not currently have reviews for either family or nanny, but when we do bring that in, and we will, we want it to be a two-way street. Like you can also review, your employer on things like, are they home on time? Are they paying what they say? Like the communication, like the
Mm-hmm.
same, sort of things that you want in an employee, you want in an employer. Yeah, like you can do that, and that's what we are kind of about, just a neutral platform.
Well, I can tell you now that having the connections and having a village, it makes a difference because I was in DC, and they have a what is it called? DC Urban Moms and Dads. And
Mm-hmm.
I started working with one family, and her neighbor right next door to her, she found me like 6 weeks later. And I asked the one that I was working for, can I use her as a reference? And she said yes. So when I sent her the name, she said, she's my next door neighbor. Oh, of course I want you.
Yeah,
She talks
for
about you
sure.
all the time. So it
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is so important to have that's those connections. And
right.
then I ended up, there was a neighbor who moved in across the street, and she had a little boy, and she was like, well, I'm trying to find someone. I don't need it full time, I just need part time. Oh, well, you can join our share. We share Angela all the time. And so she comes
Mm-hmm.
over to the house one day while I'm there, and she's like, oh, I'm right across the street. And so the community just grew.
Yeah, it
And
compounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
it's
easily,
so
very quickly.
important that you
Yeah,
have uh, those connections. It's so important that you have um, the village. Okay, all
yeah.
these little buttons are popping up in front of me, and I'm trying to close them out because I can't
And I know
see.
that some other platforms are trying to do that through like Facebook connections and things like that. But very often, like I'm not friends on Facebook with my employer, and I know that nannies are not
Right.
friends, very often. So that doesn't really work in that situation. So that's what we just need to build it in a professional childcare networking
Mm-hmm.
platform. So like this
Yes.
is designated for, Facebook is all sorts of things, but this is networking platform for childcare. So that's what we want to be, and that's, what we will be.
Emily likes to refer to it as the LinkedIn of nannies. LinkedIn for nannies.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love
Exactly.
into
Exactly.
that.
Perfect example. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect
Yeah.
example. There was one thing I missed somebody's question about the who was it? Carlotta asked about no, it wasn't Carlotta. I think it was Ariel. She asked about being certified. I don't know of any certified nannies, but I do know the INA, the International Nanny Association. They do have a credentialing program that you can take a test to become a credentialed nanny, and it does look good on your resume. Trust me, it does. And parents pay attention to
Kim,
that.
Kim is going to unite and activate the village to do great things because she has so many ideas for the nanny profession that
Are you going to
is going to
certify us?
take you to the next level and beyond. Like, she wants to do so much, and I'll let you kind of talk about that a little more.
Come
But
on, Kim. You're
I
holding out
do
on
check
me.
So I am actually working with Michelle LaRoe to bring her, she's the founder of nannytrainings.com. I'm working with her currently to bring an accredited nanny training, the first one in the United States. It's accredited through Cash and Nanny Stella.
Okay.
Stella Reed, and I'm working with them to bring this training session live to Chicago in the fall. So Ariel, be on the lookout for that information. And you can also you can become an accredited certified nanny through the training at nannytrainings.com and Nanny Stella's Cash certified program.
Hi, Shanley. Hi, Louise.
Shelly's my twin sister,
See,
Andrea.
that's why you all are there.
Yes, Louise is a professional nanny for many years. The goodness,
Yes, hi,
great
Louise.
feedback during the creation of this whole thing. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and your support in this. And I can't wait for you guys, more of you, to be involved in this. Like, what do you want to do? We can come together as a village and do it. Like, maybe we can't do it on our own, but together, like, you can help Kim and we can do what you want to do
Yes.
for your profession. You can get higher
Okay.
wages. You can get these things, these certifications. Like, bring it. Let's do it together. We'll come together and do this.
Yes, let's do this. Okay,
Let's do
again,
it.
share, share, share. Hit the share button because I know all your nanny friends want to know about this, about getting accredited, about being certified through the cash program, about becoming a village, and people in your area, in your city, making more money through becoming a nanny share. You trust me, it's worth it.
And you know
And
what? Even
especially,
if you are not interested in a nanny share, you can always use this as a negotiation sort of tactic and politely tell families, you have a living wage that you need to make, so if they are
yes,
not able to meet this, like you can extend compassion and understanding and say, I understand your situation. Maybe you cannot pay this. This is what I need to live. This is my minimum, and we can explore other options like nanny share. If you can't meet my wage, you can bring on another family to help. So just these things that you can kind of where you don't have to be like yes or no any longer, where you can have these tactics to kind of elevate your wages or at least bring some negotiation to the table.
okay, yes. So families, don't be afraid to have a nanny share. Nannies, don't be afraid to ask for what you need because if you know that you're going to barely make it on $15 an hour and you accept a job paying $12 an hour and then you're complaining all the time. So, no.
Yeah.
Let's
Know your
go
worth.
to
It's
the,
very important
yes,
for
know
nannies
your
to
worth
know their worth.
and add tax.
Yes.
Know your worth and then add tax. I don't know
Yes.
where I read that. It was in one of the nanny forums. I know that it was add tax. I was like, I never thought about that one, but that's true
Yes.
because we get taxed for everything.
Hmm.
So yes. Any last tips, tricks, comments?
I don't think so, except we just love this show and we're so glad for what you do for the nanny community, and we really hope that we can be impactful like this, come together and be impactful like this, because that's, I think, everybody's goal here, you know. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for everyone tuning in.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for giving me the exclusive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, everyone, let's see. Anne says, I have helped several families find a nanny share. Well, good for you, Anne. Good job. Good job.
Yay!
Yay. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, um, that is all I have for you tonight. I want to thank Emily and Kim for sharing via the village with us. And yes, Toya, share, share, share. Share this
Yeah.
video with in your nanny group. Share this video with your nanny friends. If you hit the share button, everyone on your list is possibly, well, it depends on their algorithms now on Facebook. They will see them. I
But
tell you,
please
it
reach
changes every
out to
time.
us. Like, reach out to us, either
Yes,
one of us. Like, we're accessible on Facebook, on Via the Village. When you join, reach out to us. You can search when you sign up and you want to search even outside of your community. You'll kind of see like 30 miles of you. If you want to search Kim or Emily in Via the Village platform, you can message us there, message us on Facebook, Emily at viathevillage.com or Kim at viathevillage.com. Like, we want, we hope that this activates involvement in building our
yes,
community. So
yes. And if you need me for anything,
thank
I'm
you.
here. I'll just
Yes.
Same
add another iron to my fire and we'll keep
thing.
moving.
Same thing. You do so many great things with your training, with what you do for the nanny profession. Please reach out to us as well if we can do anything to help.
Okay. If you have any nannies and that's another thing I want to say. If you have any nannies that travel with their families
Hmm.
3 to 4 times a year, please send them my way. It's
Okay.
summertime, um, and we want to get some tips on things that we need to have in our luggage. The best way to pack up the children's luggage so that we can just zip right
Yeah.
in and right out, make our trip so much more enjoyable than, okay, I got to go out of town with them. I got to do this. I got to do that. We want the tips and we want the tricks to make this vacation memorable for not only the kids, but for ourselves too. So, travel
Yeah.
nannies, PM me and blow me
Please,
up on Facebook.
Angela, please as well be a member of our
Yes.
community. We have the forum. So anyone nationwide, if they have questions, nannies, you guys are a resource to one another. You professional nannies that have had this experience, especially with like traveling and, Kim, like we're always like, when people ask a question, we want you there to answer their questions, to be that resource for one another. Like that's what we want, experts in the profession with experience answering these questions, having these conversations publicly so families can see, so nannies can see, and so please, even our
Yes.
forum.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 You all heard that. Let's join the forum.
Yeah.
Seasoned
Yeah.
nannies and
You
those of
have
us who are have experience doing things that 'cause I've traveled several times with families, but I don't do it 3 or 4 times a year. Is maybe once in the 2 years that I'm with them, or once every once in a while. I'm not a travel nanny, so I would like to have some input as to how do you all do it? Because
a-
I know with my own kids and with just getting them out the door to get to the park, It's,
Yeah.
that's a miracle within itself some days. How do
Yeah.
you do it on the airplane? How do you do it in a long car ride? How do you do it? We need to know. Inquiring
Exactly.
minds want to
Let's
know.
share. Let's share these tips and tricks with each other. We need, like
Yes.
you said, we need sanity savers. We need mental health help to
Yes.
deal with these little people.
Yes, because
Believe me.
sometimes, honestly, we think we're running the show and it's actually them.
Yeah, we're not.
Because, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. They are totally in control. So, yeah. But thank you again, ladies, for sharing
Thank
Via the
you.
Village with us. And everyone go and sign up for Via the Village. Invite your village to come to Via the Village so that we can expand the village. And who knows? That dream job, that unicorn family that everybody talks about, it's out there. Or maybe two
Yeah,
or three in one package.
exactly. If not, you can create that unicorn family by combining two.
There you go. Make the magic
Yeah.
happen.
Yes. Yes.
All
Definitely.
right, ladies, we will see you all later. And to the rest of you watching audience, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week right here. And please note that our time is changing to 7 p.m. instead of 7:30. Next week we will be here at 7 p.m. So make sure you share that with your friends. I will put a blast out on Facebook. We are changing the time to 7 p.m. instead of 7:30. So I will see you all next week at 7 p.m. Not 7:30, but 7 p.m. And I'm hoping that I will remember that myself. So we will see you all next week. And thanks again for joining us. And again, share, share, share. Sharing is caring.
Thank you,
See you all.
Angela. Thank
You're
you, Katie.
welcome. You're welcome. See you all next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.